We are being joined by Adeola Soetan, who's an activist, to give a perspective to this. Adeola, it's nice having you around.
It's my pleasure to be with you. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, how would you assess the response of the Nigerian Senate and other relevant institutions to Senator Natasha's allegations?
Well, first thing, it projects them, the senators or the Senate, as a chamber of sexual harassment mob. The way they have treated this simple case is a simple case now made difficult by the Senate due to their activities to silence the woman, Natasha. Why is that? You see, we say he who alleges must prove. That's a global principle. But in this case now, he who alleges is not even allowed to prove because of some technical rules. And I say that project the Senate itself as not serious because the rules have been stepped aside or stepped down on many cases, particularly where the integrity of the Senate and your president is at stake. So how can you say for that, for a woman who came out to say the president harassed him sexually, and don't forget the same president, the former chair of NDDC, Mrs. Joy, accused him when he was Minister for Niger Delta in 2020, 5 years ago. So I think Akpabio himself has missed a great opportunity, to defend himself and of course to clear his innocence, if ever he's innocent. Because you that were alleged 5 years ago, the woman even said she slapped Akpabio because of sexual harassment. And Akpabio never went to court, never debunked it. Now it's happening now with your colleague. He should have just told his colleagues, look, gentlemen, I don't want us to use technical rules. I am stepping aside and let us have this debate because I have not seen, I've been lying against. People will have started saying, baby, this one is innocent. But you presiding over your own case, and the petition was submitted, and instantly the senators are saying, this petition is brought in bed, I can't do this. I can't even see some of the female senators. So ridiculous. Even some of the ex that should have been in the forefront was okay, let's investigate. They are not even saying that. They were attacking Senator Natasha on the basis of his stature, his dressing, his beauty, her beauty, and what have you. This is insane. Look at it. America and Lewinsky, Clinton and Lewinsky in the US. It happened too. Normally, the first instinct of any man or woman alleged of sexual harassment is to deny whether it's right or not. But after that, then the committee will investigate. When it happened, Clinton initially denied. When the first started coming, the committee was set up.
Okay.
And even House of Reps had to impeach him before he was returned by the Senate. So for them to disallow, it shows the level of their morality.
All right.
And of course, the collective they are shown.
Of course, we see the sensitivity in this case, something we cannot wish away. Now, the Arewa Consultative Forum and other groups have called for an independent investigation. In your own opinion, what measures should be taken to ensure transparency and justice in this case?
Well, sexual harassment is a global crime against women or against men. So for the Senate that have lost its integrity with the attitude they have adopted to treat such a simple matter, I also support the call for independent investigation. Because Jessica cannot say it's their case. No, it's not your case. It's about women now. It's about power equation. power relationship in the Senate. And of course, this concerns another person on the street, either man or woman. So I also support fully independent investigation by, Nigerians, institutions, organizations that don't have any biased mind on this issue. Don't look at it. It's like in the university.
Okay,
so a university denounced a female student alleging a lecturer of sexual harassment because she did not pass her petition through a normal channel, or because of a spelling mistake. That university will project itself as a university of sexual harassers.
All right.
So I support that.
All right, I see that you support an investigation, but then there have been concerns that cases involving high-profile figures in Nigeria often get swept under the rug. Now, do you believe that Nigeria's legal system and, of course, the legislative arm, let's even look at it generally, even the judiciary, do you think that they have that capacity to do a thorough investigation on situations like this, or there are some things that need to change?
Well, don't forget, the ruling class, particularly those notorious in those classes, will never surrender. Even if they are caught red-handed, they will still use their money position. But it's the people that will not relent. Like America did not relent during the Clinton, the whiskey case, and other cases abroad like that. We are not going to relent. In fact, the People's Court is more valuable now than the Senate decision or whatever they decide to. You can imagine that there is a court injunction by this woman that restrained the Senate from publishing her, investigating her, or her conduct in the parliament when he was accusing the Senate president. Yet, the Committee on Ethics went ahead. Do they know the meaning of ethics? Do they even know the meaning of distinguish they are carrying about? So it's about we, not about them. And I'm surprised that many of those guys that were in the Senate, that projected themselves as good people, former union leader, former labor leader, and you start seeing what is happening. That ordinary is a simple case if it's allowed to run its mills. It's a very simple case. If you arrest somebody, then let a committee be set up, and now you have lost that opportunity to revamp the image of the Senate. So about getting it under the carpet, it's not going to be for them. They can always sweep under the carpet. But in the People's Court, in our struggle, in our push, we are not going to allow that, whether they like it or not. I mean, they must allow investigation one way, or if they don't allow it, they are guilty. If they allow it, then they have an advantage to say they are not guilty and prove it. You can't take the old president of the Senate. Do they know the meaning of that? That's from a citizen. That's a big institution.
Adeola,
we are not alone. The world is looking at us.
So, Adeola, one particular aspect I'd like us to bring into this is those who are in favor of the Senate president and those who are actually supporting Natasha. How do you see those protests and counter-protests in a situation like this? Because it seems as though people are being influenced over matters that they probably might not even have an idea about.
Well, let me tell you, the pro-sexual harassment protesters have shown their color, have shown that they lack integrity. And how do I mean? None of them, to my hearing, has called for investigation. They have just come to defend Akpabio, which to me is wrong. They have just come to defend. I mean, I'm not saying you cannot protest, you cannot defend, but what you should have asked for is an investigative panel so that your man you are supporting can be clear if it doesn't have any problem. You know, the fear of these people is that the moment Akpabio is being tracked, other cases may come up, and that will be disastrous. So for the anti-sexual harassment campaigners and protesters, I commend them, but they are calling for pro-panel, and they are calling for Akpabio to step aside. Stepping aside will be the option. You can't be, a judge in your own case. You have been alleged. When I saw on TV that was still presiding, he would have just said, gentlemen, the civil senators, I'm not going to be here. It would be moral of me being alleged to sit over receiving this petition. Let me step aside.
Okay.
People have clapped for him.
Adeola,
Adeola
Soetan, thank you so much for sharing your perspective on the news with us.